Oh, I laughed out loud. Because I thought you were just speaking like,
No.
Yeah, no. Welcome back, everybody. You love her, I love her, you love her recipes, you love her suggestions, you're gonna love her jumpsuit she's wearing today, and soon, you're gonna love her book. I love saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie Hansen has a brand new cookbook called the True North Cabin Cookbook, and it's available right now for pre-sale and hits bookstores on September 6th. Please give it up for Stephanie Hansen.
I am like having such massive imposter syndrome.
Why?
Like you're having this whole segment and I'm like, oh, that looks so good. I wonder who did that. I don't know. Am I an author? Am I a cookbook writer? Like all of these things are just going through my head in the middle of the night and I'm trying to like get right with it.
I don't understand what you just said.
Okay, probably, no offense, but probably because you're a man. Because a lot of men don't experience.
How dare you?
Imposter syndrome
Okay.
like women do, but it's this idea like you've accomplished something,
Yeah.
but it's hard for you to like live in that space of the accomplishment because it feels strange.
Oh.
Like I look at the book and I'm like, someone wanted me to cook something from the book and I'm like, I don't know if I can, but of course I can. I've cooked it a million times. I've written about it, I've photographed it, and I can cook it. It's just.
I hear you. Okay,
yeah,
now I get it.
It's trying to like step into the space of like, okay, I did this. This is me. Like, here it is.
Well, I said it when you announced it on our show, and thank you for doing that. And thank you for now doing it here, now that we're on the tail end. There's no reason for you to feel that way because you are amazing.
Oh. Well, that's so nice.
You're really good. I mean, I've said it to you 4,000 times off the air.
My inner 5-year-old with pigtails is like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
No,
Jason thinks I'm amazing. That's
I've
so
said
cool.
it 5,000 times. There's a reason that you connect so well with people. Hi, everybody on the TV land. There's a reason you connect so well with people is because you're authentic. And even when you're shishi poo poo, you recognize when you're shishi poo poo. And you're great. Show off the book.
Thanks.
Okay. Hold up your book.
So during the pandemic, all the events I work on, everything was canceled that I do except for my radio show. And
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be canceled too, because we were talking about restaurants. Who wants to talk about restaurants when you can't go for 18 months? But my husband was like, hey, you should write a cookbook about all the things we do at the cabin. Because my Instagram was full of like, ooh, this is a good recipe.
If you
That
do
one is
say
good.
so yourself.
No, my Instagram is full of like, we have this cabin in northern Minnesota and it's on an island. And you have to park somewhere, get in a boat, and ride like 10 minutes to the island. It's 4 acres. We're the only people on it. It was in 1970. That's our Burnside Lodge where we park our boat. And it's kind of a lifestyle thing because we spend a lot of time outside. We're always cooking. You kind of have to cook what you have because to go into town to grab something is like an hour-long situation. And I'm there most of the summer with my husband, who's a writer, and his mom, who's 90 years old. And I've learned a lot about cooking from her. And it's just kind of a love story of this really excellent place that you've never been, but that's fine. Oh, we have an outhouse.
Yeah, that's why I've never been. Stephanie doesn't think I would ever go in the outhouse, and I would not. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'll bring my own portable toilet.
He
How long
shows
did
up
this?
with a coffee
I know,
can.
seriously. How long did this take you from start to finish?
About a year, and I knew nothing about writing cookbooks. So Zoe Francois from Zoe Bakes, I contacted her and I talked to all these people. Patrice Johnson, talked to her. And what I think the most surprising thing about the cookbook is that the industry's changed like every industry. Like I'm not a fancy cookbook writer, so I had to photograph the whole thing by myself.
And look at these, if you're looking at these photos, these are all done by
Casey
Stephanie.
Barghini, Lori's husband from the radio show.
From My Talk
Yep.
107.1. Yeah, and these are all, and these were all done on your iPhone, right?
Yes, I shot the whole thing on my iPhone, and I'm not a professional photographer. I just tried to like lean into the outside because the light's better. Honestly, I look at some of these pictures and this whole thing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this.
But you did, and you
I
should be.
did.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday, audience. She brought it, and it was just, it's tactile, like holding it.
Yes.
I'm like, my friend wrote this.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite recipes? You mentioned one. Give me one that I know it's like picking a baby, but like.
Oh,
Like Grandma Kathy's chicken phyllo bundles?
Yes.
The hell is that?
No, she always brings these when she comes to visit the cabin each year. They're little bits of chicken that have been marinated and they're wrapped in phyllo dough, and then you bake them in the oven and you dip them. So there are some recipes in here that are things that people bring to the cabin every year that have become favorites. Kurt's ribs is my husband. Like, everybody wants Kurt's ribs. And last summer I was like, no, we can't have Kurt's ribs. I've already photographed them. We need to have beef bourguignon because I haven't gotten a picture yet. So it was kind of a funny summer of me telling everybody what to do.
Let me
My love story is in here about how I met my husband because he proposed to me on the island.
Really?
Yes.
You talk about lobster in here?
I do.
We call it, his nickname is Lobster, is Kurt's nickname.
One Thanksgiving he had hand surgery and he had a lobster hand and I had to cook the whole meal for everyone alone.
Yeah, so we call him Lobster.
Yep.
Okay, let me just ask you a question about one particular recipe that everyone will relate to. Grammy's mac and cheese.
Aw.
Everybody has a mac and cheese. What makes yours so good in this book?
Probably because it was my mom's, so you have like a super sentimental feeling. My mom died of breast cancer about, I guess it was about 15 years ago now. So I have a real sentimental feeling about that particular recipe. But like all the recipes in here, they're not necessarily hard. They're just the kind of things that you want to eat when you sit down with your family.
Yeah.
That recipe, it has paprika. She probably got it off the can of something. There's a recipe in here that we cut out that was literally like on the can of a side of Jimmy Dean sausage, that the package that we amped up. So we took that one out. But they're just like, it's not like all cast iron cooking or anything traditional cabin. Probably my favorite recipe in here is like a pork shoulder with these potato dumplings that Kurt's mom showed me how to make one summer. And you know, our cabinet's in way northern Minnesota, so it's cool a couple of months of the summer. So we have like cool items in here as well as like summer, winter items.
Where to find the book, how to get the book, where you can see Stephanie and more, plus some questions from the audience when we come back after this.
This is good for me to think about the questions people are coming.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We are glad you're here. And we're glad that Steph wore her new jumper. That's really nice.
Yeah, thanks. I'm a big jumpsuit fan because all you have to find is one thing in your closet to wear.
Yeah. Let me ask, okay, we got to do some Ask Stephanie, but how can people find the book?
You can pre-order it at stephaniesdish.com. And here's a Jason Show exclusive, people.
Oh, look at that.
I am going to be at the State Fair, and you are going to be able to get a copy of the book and have it signed by me. I'm going to be at the I Like You booth on the first Friday of the fair. And then Saturday, we do a live weekly dish broadcast at the My Talk 107 booth, and I'm going to do a signing after that as well. So if you want to get the book early, that's where you can get it, is at the State Fair.
Do I get a copy?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to take this one. Anyway.
No, you can't, because I only have two.
I'm kidding. Okay, it's time once again for Ask Stephanie. Lisa's up first. This was on our Facebook page. Lisa asks, do you have a good pesto recipe? If so, how long does it last in the fridge? Great question. I know you do.
Okay, now I would just preface this by I use everything way long past when anyone else does. Generally, pesto will last about a week in the fridge. And do I have a good recipe? Yes, I do. I have a million on stephaniesdish.com, but you can use cilantro, you can use basil. It's basically basil, nuts, olive oil. Here's some tips. If you're gonna freeze your pesto, which usually I do, I make a big batch and I use some right away that night and then I freeze the rest. Freeze it in ice cube trays and pop it out so that you can use it in the future. Or you can freeze it in mason jars where you leave a little bit of headroom so if it expands, it doesn't blow the jar. And frozen, it'll last, I've had pesto still from last summer that we're still eating. But in the fridge, it's about a week. No, yeah, your face.
Okay, yeah.
Your face. You can eat things in the freezer forever.
Okay.
It lasts forever.
Okay.
And here's another secret tip. Pine nuts are very expensive. You don't need to just use pine nuts. You can use almonds, you can use walnuts, you can use pecans. I'm cheap, I use walnuts.
Next question. Lorraine, I love you. Your face! She asked,
face!
What do you make when you ask your husband what he wants and he goes, I don't care? Which, by the way, audience, back me up. The worst question in life
is what's for dinner.
What's for dinner? What are we doing for dinner?
That's my favorite question. That's how I start every day.
Oh, I hate it. Yeah, anyway, but what do you make lobster?
Okay, first of all, if he asked me that and looked at me like that, I might say you need to order takeout. But beyond that, I always make creamy pasta. Because it's easy. Like you just put a little garlic, a little butter, put a little cream in there, wait till it gets like coating the back of your spoon, throw your noodles in, serve it, Parmesan cheese, maybe you have some fresh herbs you can throw over there, maybe you have some grilled chicken, grilled salmon, steak, whatever. It's either a meal or it's a side. It's always perfect. Second item would be 5-minute risotto in an Instant Pot, and I have a recipe for that on my website too. Instant, like risotto is you always have rice.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
So that's what I do.
Someone in our audience has a question. Hi, Kathy. What's your question for Stephanie?
Hi. Stephanie, first of all, I'm a Gamma Kathy, so I have to check out your chicken recipe.
Yes.
And then I had another question. Gluten-free, are a lot of your recipes adaptable?
Yeah.
Oh, good
Okay,
question.
good.
Gluten is basically cooking things with wheat, and we now have such great science that there's gluten-free pasta, there's gluten-free flour. There's a great gluten-free flour that works just like regular flour in a lot of my recipes called 1 Cup, 1 Cup, and it was developed, and it's a great flour alternative. But yes, a lot of them can be adapted for gluten-free, and if you need any information specifically, just email me. I'll email you back.
How much do we love Kathy's glasses?
I love
Kathy's
Kathy's glasses.
One more question from Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Brenda writes to us on Facebook. She writes, let's put the graphic up. There we go. I'm going to see Wicked at the Orpheum. Where should I eat lunch on a Sunday near the theater in downtown Minneapolis? Great question.
Yeah, because so many things have changed in downtown Minneapolis. So you're going to go to Union Rooftop and you're going to have brunch or lunch. If you go to Wicked at dinner time or you go to the theater at dinner time, I always go to the Butcher's Tail. You can park and you can valet and you can walk like a couple blocks down the street and you're at the theater quickly.
Butcher's Tail is so good.
Yeah,
it's
I
the
think so, too.
revamped Butcher and the Boar.
Yep.
So good. Give it up for Stephanie Hansen, everybody. For more information, go to stephaniesdish.com, and her book, True North Cookbook, is available for pre-sale right now. Let's blow the roof off these pre-sales, everybody. I know you will.
Exciting?
That's right. We're going to take a break. We're playing a game when we come back. Back in a moment.
Your face.
Your face.